Dorothy McCoy, the manipulative man, identify his behavior, counter the abuse, regain control. In The Manipulative Man, Dorothy McCoy dives deep into the world of manipulative men, providing insight into the tactics they employ to control and exploit their partners. This book offers critical advice to women battling such situations, helping them identify manipulative behavior and guiding them on how to regain control within their relationships. The summary focuses on different profiles of manipulative men, including mama's boys, workaholics, eternal jocks, men with dependent personality disorders, antisocial types, passive-aggressive individuals, womanizers, narcissists, psychopaths, and violent manipulators. By understanding these categories and learning strategies to counter these negative traits, readers gain the knowledge needed to foster healthier, more fulfilling relationships.
The danger of mama's boys. Women often fall for charming and confident men who also reveal vulnerability, believing that their unconditional love could help them straighten their lives. However, such charming men could be manipulative, and women need to look for signs of personality disorders in their partners. One such personality type is mama's boys, who depend on their mothers or other mother figures for making decisions for them. Janice and Larson's relationship exemplifies the manipulative behavior that mama's boys often exhibit. Larson's manipulative tactics include blaming, manipulating the truth, exploiting emotions, and passive aggression. Women need to prioritize self-care and not yield to the blame game. They can create a fair relationship by writing a mutual contract and looking for signs of real change in their partner's behavior. If things don't improve, they can choose to accept, change, or leave the relationship. Remember, everyone deserves love, respect, and kindness, without any negotiation. Life beyond work. Discovering balance in a workaholic lifestyle. In a society that praises being a workaholic, it's not uncommon to find individuals whose lives revolve around work, which leaves them little time for anything else. The book highlights how a workaholic's identity is tied to their work, leaving no time for hobbies, relationships, or relaxation. It may seem challenging to get a workaholic to participate in therapy or make changes, but altering the communication could help to reach a solution that benefits both parties. The book presents the case of a couple, Charles and Karen, both successful in their professions. However, Charles increasingly devotes more time to work, diminishing their time together. Charles's denial of his hours at work being a problem creates roadblocks in finding a solution, causing stress in the relationship. The book shows how communication can be vital in relation to workaholics. By presenting the problem and understanding their position, generating viable options could lead to a solution that appeals to both parties. Additionally, a display of appreciation and rewarding good behavior can help to alter the workaholic's mindset. In conclusion, the book emphasizes the importance of a life beyond work and the need to balance work and other aspects of life. By reaching solutions together, workaholics can find a way to have a fulfilling life, embracing hobbies, relationships, and relaxation, rather than being solely devoted to work. Dealing with jocks, womanizers, and players. The article discusses how to handle jocks, womanizers, and players in relationships by outlining their behavioral patterns and offering strategies for change. Jocks are often popular and in good physical shape but can become stuck in their glory days and lack empathy towards others. Their need to win no matter what may lead to aggressive behavior and problems with impulse control. They also use manipulation techniques such as intimidation and blaming. To deal with a jock, clearly communicate the behavior you need them to change and spell out your desired alternative. If they continue to disregard your needs, have consequences ready and follow through. Womanizers and players are resistant to change, so it's essential to start small and focus on changing one behavior at a time. Show them how the change will benefit the relationship and frame requests in terms of values they already understand, such as excellence and teamwork. By being patient and persistent, you can encourage them to be more loyal and receptive to coaching. In conclusion, by understanding the patterns of behavior of jocks, womanizers, and players, and using targeted strategies, you can improve your relationship and encourage positive change. Understanding dependent personality disorders. Those with dependent personality disorders struggle with decision-making and constantly seek the help of others. In extreme cases, they refuse to take responsibility for anything and mask deep hostility. They come in two types, the dependent woe is me and egotistical woe is me type. Dependent individuals often resent not having undivided attention and will lash out in anger if their ego feels threatened. Stephanie, for instance, found herself in a relationship with Rich, a dependent type with low self-esteem who exploited her emotions and made her feel guilty for not doing enough in their relationship. To build a better relationship with someone with a dependent personality disorder, it is important to be clear about what actions you expect from them and set realistic boundaries. Instead of asking them to become more self-reliant, set small expectations, like asking them to call no more than twice a day while working. Overall, understanding and communicating with a dependent personality disorder is key to healthy relationships. Beware of the exciting and charming antisocial. The book warns readers about the manipulative type called the antisocial, who is less likely to change. They are often daredevils loaded with charm but incapable of giving or appreciating love. They can create a false sense of romance and closeness and are prone to angry outbursts. They assume everyone else is predatory and often hang out together. Female thrill seekers or nurturing types tend to be attracted to them. However, these manipulators are incapable of handling responsibilities and often end up in trouble with the law. The book advises against falling for their facade and highlights that behind the charm and excitement is a selfish and predatory individual. If you think you found an exciting and charming partner, it's essential to consider how you can protect yourself, as they are incapable of experiencing love and only see it as a means to an end. Understanding and navigating harms of emotionally dependent men. Do you find yourself in a relationship with a passive-aggressive man? Are you dealing with a manipulative partner who just won't change? This book is here to help you navigate emotionally dependent men. According to the author, emotionally dependent men may present themselves in various forms, but they all have one thing in common: an unreasonably strong emotional reliance on their female partners. One type of such men is the passive-aggressive man, who tends to exhibit covert hostility. It can be hard to pinpoint his negative behavior as he uses manipulation and guilt instead of yelling or throwing things. An individual with atypical depression may also exhibit passive-aggressiveness. This book suggests cognitive behavioral therapy to help people recognize their thinking patterns that lead to emotional dependence. The therapy can be particularly helpful in couples therapy. If you are coping with a passive-aggressive partner, don't withdraw, rather, be reasonable in making specific requests and avoid being critical. Instead, frame your wishes in terms of how the behaviors affect you. The book goes on to describe various types of manipulative males to look out for, including the womanizer and the player, the narcissist, the psychopath, and the violent manipulator. The womanizer and player are insincere individuals who are not interested in long-term relationships. On the other hand, the narcissist is obsessed with themselves, lacks empathy, and seeks adulation. The psychopath is emotionally shallow, lacks a conscience, and is often engaged in criminal activity. Lastly, the violent manipulator is unpredictable and uses intimidation to control their partner. If you are dealing with a manipulative partner, communication is vital. Frame your request for behavior change with positive benefits for them. Start with small changes, avoid criticizing, and employ logical consequences for their harmful actions. However, if you are in a situation with a violent manipulator, your primary concern should be seeking independence and avoiding physical harm. Overall, the book helps readers recognize emotionally dependent men and navigate through harmful relationships. If you are committed to making changes in your relationship and are willing to work through the issues, counseling can be an effective way to help your partner become more aware of their behaviors and motivators that lead to emotional dependence. Finding the right partner. Attracting a mate with healthy traits requires introspection and effective communication. Prioritize qualities such as respect, trust, and honesty for long-term relationships. Learn to express your needs with specific requests and repeat what your partner says to avoid misunderstandings. Focus on cultivating a positive attitude within yourself to attract a compatible partner.
The book's summary of The Manipulative Man demonstrates that it's crucial to recognize and act upon the manipulative behavior of men in relationships. By learning about the different profiles of manipulative men, women can better understand the traits and tactics used by their partners. The strategies provided in the book can help guide women to cope, adapt, or even exit toxic relationships. Ultimately, the crucial aspects of any healthy relationship involve respect, trust, and honesty. By fostering open communication and setting boundaries, women can work towards creating stronger, more supportive partnerships with their significant others. This book serves as a practical guide to navigate challenging relationships with manipulative individuals, empowering women to regain control and establish healthier connections.